In this video, I want to explore a little bit about how I use photocopies of my sketchbook in my sketchbook. And I think there's something very liberating, very playful about using photocopies of our drawings and our artwork. It means that we have kind of permission to rip things up, to cut them up, to recreate them, to reconstruct them, to take them apart and put them back together with kind of wild abandon, because it's just a photocopy and you can do that many times. So it's a really quick way of taking something that you've drawn and experimenting with it, exploring it. And what I often do is I will photocopy just on my home office little kind of printer photocopier, but I will put in slightly heavier weight paper than just cheap copier paper, and that just stops some of the crinkling when you go to glue it in your sketchbook. So what I wanted to do was take you inside my sketchbook and show you some of the pages that I've photocopied, in case that is something that you'd like to borrow for your own creative practice and endeavours and sketchbook work. So here we are inside my sketchbook, and this is a double page spread made with black Indian ink and a white pen over the top. And you'll see it's quite a detailed drawing, so it probably took me quite a bit of time to do that. So that's where photocopying can come in into its own. So for this next page, these bits here are photocopies of, not that page, of this bit here. So I've just kind of cut out shapes. I'm experimenting with deconstructing and reconstructing, and it's just quick. It's quick and easy. It allows me to take something that I've probably spent quite a bit of time drawing, and it allows me to experiment and to chop things up and to see what happens if. What happens if is always a good guiding question in my artwork. What happens if I do this? And it allows me to explore that very kind of quickly and easily. And I've just glued in these pages with a glue stick, a sort of Pritt stick. And then I've also just taken a small element here. So I often will take a fragment of something that I have created and use that to inform what's happening next. And it's just a sort of a thread that follows through. I'm sort of exploring and unpacking and seeing what happens if I take a different sort of shape as a starting point. And it's just quick, and I find something enjoyable about taking something I've already drawn and created and using that as the seed or the starting point or the springboard for another page in my sketchbook. So you'll see I just went I went crazy with it, but it was quick because a lot of this was photocopy. And now this is all drawn, but you can see that this big chunk here is a photocopy, as is this bit here. And you'll see it's just allowed me to explore a whole sort of different compositions and different ways of utilising that one initial drawing. Let's keep skimming past it, this one here. Now these are the pages that I drew in response to that beautiful book I showed you in one of my previous blog posts. And so this is just a drawing. So there's no collage, or it's just a drawing on a page. And what I've done is I've taken this page and I've photocopied it, and I've combined it with one of these pages, gosh, where is it? I think maybe this, just trying to find, there we go, this page here. So I photocopied this page and I photocopied this page, and then I'm combining them and I'm experimenting, and I think that's also a lovely thing about photocopies, is that you can take two disparate artworks or two disparate things that you've created, and you can kind of combine them into something new and something different. So again, that's a photocopy. Here, this is a little bit of photocopy. Here's a little bit of photocopy. This bit here is a photocopy, and I filled in these bits with kind of hand drawing, but it's a starting point for developing a whole different sort of set of responses. And again, this is a photocopy. So I use photocopies really frequently in my sketchbook, and I just think it's a really quick, interesting, kind of permissive way to experiment and to see what happens. So I encourage you to use that kind of mentality of what happens if, and to see what you could do with photocopies of your own artwork.